put on your seatbelt. Let's go.
All right, turn up the music.
There's a killer on the loose. Look out, he's right behind you. He won't give me the eyes. I'm scared, but I'm fighting back. We are the scream queens, running through the night. We are the scream queens, gonna put up a fight, make everything alright. Floating through.
Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Road Trip Podcast. And this wonderful show is hosted by your final girl screaming over there, Miss Justine, and your sole survivor, that's me, Mr. Josh.
Mr. Josh.
Mr. Josh. If you're nasty.
If you're nasty, always if you're nasty. And always if you're here, it's Mr. Josh. To my left, always guiding us on our excursions, every which way that we're going. We are currently going this which way, south,
We're on
east.
State Highway 69.
Nasty, naughty 69. Mr. Josh on 69.
Oklahoma 69. That's a special kind of oral. Oklahoma
What?
69. Oh, you never given the old Oklahoma 69?
Oklahoma, I'm just Oklahoma oral. Like, stop.
It's a
Yeah,
special technique.
yeah. We're staying in state this episode because it's the annual cabin trip to Broken Bow. Staying in Ho Chi Town, staying in the classic Tall Oaks cabin.
Every year we go to Tall Oaks Cabin in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Broken Bow has a state
Beaver's Bend.
national state
park. Yes, wonderful state park. We enjoy taking hikes around the lake, having a little ruckus.
Oh, you know us. It's all about the food and the hot tub down here.
Yes, it is. Honestly, guys, it's all about the hot tub. The hot tub has our hearts. Heart hands for the hot tub.
Heart hand hot tub, not time machine hot tub.
No, heart hand hot
Heart
tub.
hand hot tub.
It's our annual, just 2-day overnight spa treatment hot tub extravaganza. We're excited because this year we're back on track. We're doing another Evil Dead. It had been a minute. We had diverted. We had digressed. We had
Just did something different.
we
How
did
about
something
that? Something diff.
We'd been covering the cabin fever movies, but now we're back on our bullshit.
The universe gave us another Evil Dead movie. Granted, there's only 5 minutes in a cabin in this one. We're like, well, damn it.
Well, but they go to a cabin, and that's
They
all
do.
that matters.
That's all that matters.
And we established that rule last year with Cabin Fever 2. We were like, yeah, it's not really so much about it being at a cabin because that was at the school.
So this is our second year in a row having a cabin, not cabin
We're
episode.
justifying that it only has to have a cabin in the movie. It doesn't have to be a movie about a cabin.
Yeah, she's right.
I'm not wrong.
She's not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
We make the rules. We
I-
decided as long as there's a fucking cabin in the background, it
I
can be
understand the assignment because I might have wrote it
on.
and I get to rewrite it. I come up with the agenda.
And like I said, the universe graced us with another Evil Dead movie.
Yes, it hasn't even been like an entire year yet that we have again been the gross amount of the gallons amount of blood that have graced us on screen.
It was only April of 2023 that this movie
It's been
came
wonderful.
out, and we're recording this in February of 2024. So it's been less than a year, and we get to talk about it.
Interesting enough, it wasn't filmed like in Oklahoma.
Most of them aren't.
None of them are. It's also not filmed in America or filmed even on this side or neck of the woods.
Or this hemisphere, you could say.
No. It's down south. It's out in the outback. Down in New Zealand.
Well, that's not the outback.
Well,
Outback's
it's
Australia.
all these Australian actors.
Outback adjacent.
Yeah, well, all these Australian actors hopped over to that little island country of New Zealand.
New Zealand. No. Do they say that too? Like.
No, I don't know. I
no.
just know that they say things like beast.
It's the Beast movie.
Beast.
Eva.
Necronomicon movie.
Eva.
Beast.
Oh, guys, as you may know, we always drive by this cult when we're heading to Beaver's Bend.
Here
the
it
family.
is.
It's popped up in previous episodes.
Hi,
so
the family.
There is the cult. We're
There's
literally
the cult
driving by
family.
a cult
And
building.
there are other properties.
And it's a cult called the Family. Google it, read all about it. But we always drive by one of their headquarters / temples / churches. I don't know what you call a cult meeting place.
Yeah.
But it's
Cult's
a cult
meeting place?
A cult's meeting place.
So we go by there.
We just did.
Every time. And so, anyways, we're going to get into the cult of the Evil Dead.
Yep, Deadites, bring them on.
So, 2023 brought us Evil Dead Rise. It's from director Lee Cronin. I didn't know about him, so did you?
No, but when I looked him up, seems like he's done some successful horror films. None that I had heard of, but I think, they've been popular on, like, the festival circuit.
Yeah.
Maybe you've gotten him some acclaim, but not...
Some might have heard of, like, The Hole in the Ground.
Yeah.
Which really kind of got him this movie.
This movie. It got it.
It got him.
He got it.
It got
He's like,
the opportunity.
here's this movie, get me another.
Get me another movie that might be a little bit even better.
But just before we kick things off, I think I like this better than the Evil Dead remake. And the Evil Dead remake's really good.
That one was like 2013, right? Like they were like
yeah, I think so.
10 years apart or so.
And I think this one's just a little bit more fun. It gets back to that crazy, kooky Evil Dead humor. Kooky and gory. I mean, the other one definitely brought the gore, but I like the humor in this one a little more.
Yes. I might agree. We've got flashing blue red lights. There's an emergency. We're emergent. We've moved over. Okay, and now we're back on the road.
We get distracted sometimes, guys. This is a real road trip. You are hanging out in our back seat going along with us.
And we're driving safe.
And there was paramedics and stuff on the road. A police officer.
That was not paramedics. It was just a police officer, and he had his flashing lights on.
God, isn't this an exciting journey?
Okay, all right. Anyways, so back into Evil Dead Rise. We were saying we don't really know a lot about the director too much, but we enjoyed this movie.
Yeah,
and
I
don't know a lot about the actors, but
yeah,
again,
I want to see more from him.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. We have our opening. It's like a drone shot zooming over a lake scene. So
Here's
we
our
do
cabin.
approach our cabin. And we have these cousins, Teresa and Jessica. And Teresa's kind of like being a little grumpy because she doesn't want to be there. And she's having to hang out with, like, the boyfriend of the cousin because the cousin is currently indisposed.
She's sick.
She's feeling a little icky.
She had a really bad headache, and I guess the ride probably wasn't too pleasant. Her boyfriend's like, I popped her a pill, and she's been passed out since.
She's been all
a
up in
Klonopin,
there,
is that what he says?
like, getting date raped nearly.
Oh,
and
my God. Justine.
What?
That is
popped her a pill and she's in there getting possessed by demons.
Yeah.
But what else am I to think, Josh?
The diamonds did that to her. That's right.
Anyways, so we have cousin Teresa, not Mother Teresa, by the way. Cousin
Just the
Teresa.
cousin.
It's got nothing to do with Catholicism.
She hasn't been canonized yet.
No. But this movie is canon.
That's right.
And that's something to point out, that all of the Evil Dead movies are canonical.
And, this can be easily like, oh, well, this movie has the blessing of our creator, Sam Raimi. And there is a line where they mention there being 3 volumes of the Necronomicon, or that's not what's called in this book. And I think each movie has a different name or a different book founded, so it's like each one belongs in the same universe, which I think is really cool.
It's basically like there was a person who wrote, like a 3-part book, the Book of the Dead, and scattered it about. And one ended up over here, and the other one ended up over there, and another one ended up, boop, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. One's like in the middle of the woods in Tennessee. The other's like in another wooded area. And this one made its way to downtown LA. So
yeah, downtown LA in an almost abandoned, quite dilapidated apartment complex that was once a bank.
And what's funny, there's a few hints in the movie. We even thought before we looked up and found out that it was filmed in New Zealand, that the movie is not filmed in America. One, the cabin looks like a cabin you might find. It's like, a cute A-frame. But then, like, the foliage and the trees look more like that tropical.
Yeah, it does not look at all like anything that we would see here in North America.
It doesn't look like a North American forest.
No. I'm even including
near LA or near California.
Oh, definitely, that does not look like California at all.
Doesn't look like Big Bear or any other places.
No, don't you show me your Big Bear either. So there's that, and then the apartment complex itself, I'm like, I've never seen something like that in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the movie takes place in downtown LA, and as someone who's lived in downtown LA for 2
Drop
years...
knowledge, Josh.
It
Spit!
did not look like any street or building I've seen.
No,
and if I haven't seen it...
And he lived.
I lived there.
He lived there, and I
Downtown
drove
LA.
around downtown LA
You came and visited me in downtown
there
LA.
multiple times.
So she knows too.
I have knowledge.
You even went down by the sodas in my little bodega.
Oh my gosh, all by myself, and like I just like lived my best life. Like you guys, you don't even know.
You don't know. You haven't been.
You weren't even there.
Like, yeah,
it was like ages
Some
ago.
of you might be listening from downtown LA.
Yes, so maybe we should just shut the fuck up. Okay. So Jessica is sick in bed, and Teresa is sick of the boyfriend. His name is Caleb, and he has this like drone, and she's kind of bitching about how like it's dangerous because the blades on it kind of are sharp.
First you get that classic like evil running through the woods POV that we get in a lot of the original Evil Dead movies, where it's like you're almost looking from the evil spirit, the demon's point of view of like flying through the woods, coming at somebody. And so at first you're kind of excited, like, oh, we're starting off with, someone getting possessed or like the spirit getting someone right away.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I had kind of mentioned there was like a drone zoom across the lake.
True.
And
you did.
So
you mentioned the zoom.
I did mention that.
But
so
you didn't mention it
You
at
wanted
all.
to mention it too.
Well, you didn't mention how it was referential to the originals, or how that's kind of how it made it feel like an Evil Dead movie.
Feeling.
I mentioned it.
Okay.
You mentioned this, I mentioned that. Okay.
And then Teresa is mentioning how she's super over this whole lake trip already. She is going to go in and give a what for to Jessica. She's going to go in there and tell her facts.
Well, at first she's nice. Well, I mean, she's always nice. She's like, Jessica, since your friends are obviously not coming, can I take your car and leave? I don't want to hang out with your stupid boyfriend.
Can I leave you guys here to have maybe like a little romantic cabin like trip? But her, like, she's just laying, not in a bed the usual way that one would lay, where your head is on like pillows and you're under the blankets. She's just kind of laying
curled up in the middle of the bed.
In the middle of the bed. Yeah. And the little one said,
roll over, roll over.
So then she's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll just like hang out in here with you and read Wuthering Heights, because why not? And
that's a really great beach read or like cabin read, by the way.
Yeah, when you're like, what am I going to take to read on my little weekend in the cabin?
Gothic British novel set in the moors. I'm going to read at the lake. Well, I could read anything.
I guess, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. If
Well,
that's what you want to be reading,
And
at the
maybe she
lake,
was reading
read
it for the trip. It's not like
And-
you're going to start a different book just for the
Exactly,
lake.
yeah.
so.
Or maybe because she looked young, maybe she was in school, maybe she was having to read it for a class. I don't know. But
mean,
again, why am I judging? I shouldn't be judging. I'm
I
sorry.
like that book. It's not to knock on
It's
Wuthering
not even
Heights.
that either. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I love the Kate Bush song.
And we do. We're sorry. All right. So Jessica's just laying there, being like a Jessica about it, just
Oh.
laying there, just Jessicaing. And then Teresa's reading her book. It's so nice. And Jessica starts saying what Teresa is reading. It's very referential to the original Evil Dead movie where Cheryl is playing cards and what's her face? What's the other person from the Evil Dead? She like is reading the cards. She's like
Yeah.
saying like,
I can't
oh,
think
like
of all their
Ace,
names
A,
right now.
like, anyways, they're doing a little back and forth on card reading, and then she kind of sounds like a demon, and she then like, I guess like coaxes her over because she gets on top of her. Like,
She's like, "Are you
Teresa's
okay?"
like, are you all right? And she pulls her hair and scalps her, rips her like
Yeah.
hair like clean off.
Yeah, and at first she's acting like she's maybe even dying, like spitting up, convulsing, and that freaks her out. So I think that's part of the reason why she goes over there and leans over her.
Like, are you okay?
Trying to like, because she's like, oh shit, like, oh my gosh, I think my cousin's dying. And then then she gets scalped.
By her own ponytail.
That's right.
Just gets it clear taken off.
Just ripped off.
And then we get another shot of Caleb hanging out with his drone.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say hanging out with his cock out.
Well,
That's rocking out, not just hanging.
you aren't just hanging out with your
No.
cock out.
That's right.
You're also
Rocking
rocking
out.
out with your cock out. So Caleb is droning.
And then Caleb's soon gonna be drowning.
Yeah, well, Teresa kind of like, kind of like is crawling up, but not like.
And she
she's-
stumbles out to Caleb, and Caleb's
she-
like, "Holy
she-
shit!"
Yeah, she's like covered in blood, and she's all like
Scalpless.
acting. Yeah, she's acting like she needs help.
Acting.
She obviously needs help.
He's like, take an ibuprofen and take a nap.
He freaks out, and then
Here flies in
Jessica.
the cousin.
Yeah, Jessica comes in, and she's like, "Hey,
Hey.
I'm gonna grab your drone and let it chop my face up.
Just to prove that I have no feelings.
I'm fucking weird." And so, like, she grabs the drone and pulls it in, and the blades hit her face, and she bounces off of it. Like, her body ricochets into the water, and Caleb like jumps in after her. But
'Cause he has no idea what's going on. He's
Right.
like, oh shit, my girlfriend needs help.
and Teresa's there just like
No,
laying
Caleb, don't do it.
laying on the dock with her scalp out, wondering if she's gonna make it much longer.
Cocks and scalps are out.
There were no cocks out. You actually didn't even say it right to have the cocks out, and now you've just got cocks out for no
You're
reason.
like, no one was rocking.
So you have cocks out for no good reason. And Caleb jumps in to, I guess, save Jessica because he's just in a state of shock, not knowing that she's the one that had ripped off Teresa's hair. And
Yeah.
or if, well, because it gets like thrown. I don't know what he knows.
Yeah, he throws
honestly.
the scalp on, or she throws the scalp on the deck. Or
And
dock.
Dick.
The deck
What?
Of, the deck of the dock.
So he jumps into the water, and then 1 second later, just his not
Head.
severed head, but detached. You can see it's been ripped just clean off. Full force, demonic energy.
And it falls on the deck of the dock.
It's the tip top of the deck.
And rocking out.
No, there's no cocks out.
No one's rocking out if there's no
You
cocks
never
out.
rocked out to begin with. So,
So he droned and drowned.
everybody's dead, and the little one said, Evil Dead Rise, the title card comes
I love that
up.
title card too.
Jessica's body hovers over the lake, and we get this
Music.
choral, demonic music just kind of playing, hovering body over the lake. Evil Dead Rise, and then we get a girl taking a potty.
It says like a day earlier.
1 day earlier.
We're like, oh shit, that was the prologue of the epilogue.
The
The prologue and the epilogue are the same in this movie. It's crazy.
Anyways, okay, so yeah, we get like a quick little note that says 1 day earlier. We're in what we are to assume is Los Angeles, and a woman is taking a number one on a potty.
She's just tinkling.
She's just resting her urethra.
Letting it loose. Opening that bladder up.
She's doing, what anyone would do at a rock concert and taking a quick pregnancy test. So she finds out some rather devastating news, or I guess I would find it devastating.
Some
that
women love that shit.
She's indeed pregnant, and somebody's like banging on the bathroom door, just trying to get her to come back to reality. Like, hey, we need to know where like somebody's guitar is, and
She's like, plug the amp into the thingy,
and she's just like, hey, I'm trying to take a pee-pee.
and
Goodness.
then spouts some musical things that I should know but don't know because
Well,
I'm not a
should you know it?
technician.
You don't. I don't think it's that you should know.
I really felt like they were showing off.
Oh wow. Oh goodness. Okay. Are you sure you're not just a little jealous that she
I'm
had
jealous.
that knowledge?
She knew something I didn't.
You were.
I don't
quick-
like that.
You were quick to assume that you just should know that knowledge. Okay, so she's taking a little pee-pee. She finds out she's pregnant. Someone's knocking on her door. I don't know if we're supposed to think that this is like Papa,
Yeah,
Or
I think
what?
this might be who knocked her up.
but the next shot is her getting in her car. She's driving to an apartment complex that we get. It's this ominous little shot. It's raining outside.
And the reason I say it doesn't look like it belongs in downtown LA because it's kind of like this big high-rise that's kind of by itself. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, like there's nothing else around it of similar stature.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything else compares to it. It's just this
yeah, kinda
beacon.
with no other beacons around it.
Beacon.
Maybe she was a little east or west or downtown, just like a little on the outskirts, but you
Like
can
a
see the
like a little
just a little, not a little, just a little.
like a little out of the city titty.
I mean, I'm just hyper focusing on something that doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't matter, and it's
No.
okay if we've never seen that complex
I have
before.
suspended
It's
disbelief
okay.
for
Suspended disbelief.
crazier things I can for this location.
Yes, because I have to point out that, like, I think it was like last episode, or maybe even the episode before, I had said suspended belief.
Yeah.
And I find out that I've been saying that a lot lately. So, anyways, to correct, I know what it is now. We get this like shot of the apartment complex, and then we have this introduction of this sweet little family.
They're so cute,
They're
living
so
in like
cute.
this like really dimly lit apartment. I'm like, okay, I get it's supposed to be run down, but are you only allowed to use a 25 volt light bulb in this place?
Well, the apartment complex itself doesn't look like it's in the best of shape.
So that means their light bulbs don't work.
I just think like it's overrun, and they keep pointing out the,
It's closing in
you
a
know,
month.
like the wear of it, and how you just can't like really count. Or they even talk about some of the rooms being just completely in disrepair.
It's gonna get torn down soon.
In a month.
In a month, I gotta get out.
There's not even that many people living there anymore. There's like
2 other people we see.
Or
The two brothers.
yeah,
and
well,
then the
and
old
there's
man.
a few floors that, well, that comes into play too. That there's people on other floors, but yeah, like we don't really get too much interaction with all the neighbors. It just looks like they're not squatters, but they're staying there till the end.
Yeah. Everyone else has found a new home.
And this little family is just doing what they do. There's a mom, she's a tattoo artist, and she's working her, ink, like the apparatus or whatever.
She's working that ink.
She's working that ink. That sounded so fucking weird.
She's working that ink?
She's working that ink. Okay.
Is she an octopus?
Because she does have a lot of arms.
At one point she does.
There's a kid. There's multiple kids. One is they're all kind of artistic, kind of living into their creative outlets. One's decorating a staff with a decapitated doll head. Another is making like a protest sign. And another is living into their DJ skills, working the vinyl records, and has like the headset on. It's just kind of like playing that background noise that everybody's enjoying around the house. It's a beautiful little family scene.
It's a beautiful day. No, it's not. It's a dark and stormy, earthquakey night.
And so we get this arrival of Beth, who introduces herself, well, not introduces herself, but we find out her name's Beth, and that this character, who's the tattoo artist, is Ellie, and they're sisters, and they're close, but they might not have been talking too much the last few months, maybe.
And
Beth's been busy.
And from this point on, we will only refer to Beth as Bethy Boo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the remainder of this?
The remainder of this.
Okay.
And that's because that's her nickname in the movie, and you sure hear Bethy Boo a lot.
Bethy Boo.
Through a demon's mouth.
Bethy Boo.
Bethy Boo.
There's like a moment where one of the little girls, not one of the little girls, because the other girl is a teenager, but the little girl, Cassie, is chopping off her doll's head with these huge scissors that are super sharp. And the mom is in the other room, and she's working on her tattoo stuff, and she's like, "You better not be using my scissors." And we can tell from just that they're pointing it out, that these scissors are going to come into play. And Cassie pushes the scissors underneath like a sofa.
She's like, "Sorry, Mom, just showing signs of being a future serial killer."
Planting my weapons around the house.
Cutting off doll heads.
And the teenage character girl, her name's Bridget, and she answers the door to a knock, and it's these two teenage boys that are wanting to kind of like hang out. Like, "Hey, Bridget, we're gonna watch all the nightmare movies, even the shitty ones."
And then one brother really gets upset by that. He's like, "There are no shitty ones," and I
Well,
tend to agree with him.
Yeah, should be upset.
They're all fun in their own way, except for maybe number 5, Dream Master. But
yeah, I guess maybe the remake is not my fave, but okay, so that one's shitty.
Yeah, it's just looks like a music video the whole time.
You look like a music video.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Danny, who is the DJ kid, and Bridget and Cassie, they are instructed by their mother to go get pizza so that she can fill in Bethy Boo with the latest information about the family.
So let me tell you, my husband left me. We're getting kicked out of this apartment. You come showing up on my door looking strung out.
She sounds kind of like an old country song.
Strung out on my doorstep.
My husband just left me. My kids are hungry.
And now we're gonna move.
We're gonna be homeless if I can't find one soon.
Can I please give you a tattoo?
Oh, wow.
I think we wrote a hit.
Okay. That slaps. Okay, so she's filling her in. She's like, yeah, and also, so these things are happening, and you kind of like weren't there. And the reason why she has to kind of check her is because Bethy Boo's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, your life's falling apart. Like, what? Why didn't you tell me? I would have been there for you in a heartbeat. And she's like, Boo, actually, I did tell you, no, you weren't there
She's
for
like,
me.
I called you the day he told me he was going to leave. You didn't answer, call me back. I called you when he actually left my ass. You didn't answer, call me back. It's been 2.5 months, Bethy Boo.
Bethy Boo. Bethy Boo. Oh.
Boo to you.
Boo
No.
to...
And Beth's like, oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Look, I've just been trying to, like, make it in this, like, guitar technician industry that is so kind of, like, just, I don't know, no one is going to really understand it. Not you, not anyone.
I'm going to be the first female to do something
in my
group.
Like, so then her sister kind of like calls her a groupie. That becomes this like tremendous dig that she can give.
So I'm not a groupie. I'm like a guitar tech or some bullshit.
I'm a technician. I'm a guitar technician, and I'm shining a light to everyone on a very small group in society that has gone unnoticed for far too long.
It's like I am breaking a really small glass ceiling.
It's the smallest glass ceiling that you've ever. Okay.
It's like a porthole.
It's fine to find these very like small niche jobs. Not small as in like, you know, like you're jamming like their worth or whatever. Just
we gotcha.
Small as in not a lot of people have that job.
Yeah.
I don't know about this job.
It's like, Bethy Boo, we're proud of your accomplishments, but don't use it as an excuse to ignore your sister in her time of need.
Exactly. Thank you. So anyways, Bethy Boo is like, okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry so much. I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden the earth starts to quake, and the quaking starts to earth.
It ruins the pizza.
And the kids are arriving back from getting their pizza, and they're having a hard time anyways because this apartment complex has this like clicker for their garage.
Yeah.
And it's like a very old style garage door opener
Very
clicker
80s,
thing.
90s.
And
garage
it's
door.
like, it got like a red light, green light situation, and that all will come into play. So it's just like real handy that they have this moment where they cannot get into the garage, and the earth is quaking, and the earth is shaking, and my heart is breaking.
And my pizza's on the damn floor.
Yeah, so the pizza's on the floor, as Josh has
I'm most worried about that pizza.
multiple times. And then there's an opening that happens in the garage of like the flooring, the
They're like, oh shit, this crack in the ground caused by this earthquake opened a whole cavernous area. Let's climb down and look. And then what's in there, there's like other doors and stuff, right?
Well, Danny climbs down
Yeah.
there and he finds a vault. We find out that it like the apartment complex at one time was an old bank, and it's not an old bank anymore because like somebody died there, and if you walk around late at night you can hear the jingle of coins in his pocket. He like hung himself. I don't know, there's this strange ghost story.
I think
that
it
they
was a
have going on.
deadite. A deadite did it.
Deadite did it?
Deadite did it!
Did a deadite do it?
Did a deadite do it? A deadite did.
A deadite did it. Okay, so yeah, this little opening goes into this old bank vault, and there's old deposit boxes that are opened, and Danny finds the records, these vinyl records, because of course there's vinyl records for him to find, because he's a DJ kid, so he just loves vinyls.
It's very serendipitous.
It's very serendipitous.
I like how you sounded out every... What's it called?
Overly sound out. I enunciated
Yeah.
and pronunciated and trununciated.
You trunced it?
It's not a
They
word.
got trunced?
Got truns! Okay, so the old deposit box, they have these vinyl records, and he's like, okay, that's totally in my hobby. I'm going to take these, and also I'm going to take this book that has teeth, because that looks like something safe. That looks like fun.
Yeah, it's really
I'm not
scary.
questioning
It's
that.
like these crazy claw teeth.
No red flags going up at all.
They're like,
None.
this looks like an enjoyable read. Nothing can happen if I take this buried and cemented over book, ancient looking book.
Took an earthquake to open up
With
Buttercup,
teeth.
but I'm going to just dive headfirst into this huge sea of troubles.
My first thought would have been, oh, a demon's trying to get me.
Truly, though,
I'm not
that
overtaking this
would
book.
be yours. Yes, because we have this institutional knowledge of horror movies
Yeah.
that these children fail to have.
This opened up for a reason.
I would immediately think that I specifically was supposed to happen upon this.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna happen away from it now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep on walking by.
I happened on it. Now I'm happening away.
I'm gonna happen by it. I'm gonna happen past it.
I'm not
gonna
picking this thing up and taking it to my house.
not happen no more. No way.
If I read this, demons are coming.
Okay, so the kids get out of there. They go back upstairs, and Danny and Bridget decide to kind of like look further into Danny's findings. Bridget's immediately like, no, don't. How about no?
She's like us. She'd be like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, how
Robin.
about like that looks questionable?
Why's it got claw teeth
Teeth.
binding it?
And he's like jacking around with it as jack-offs do, and he gets cut, and his finger, his finger, a little droplet of blood falls onto the book,
It
and then
awakens.
the little teefies, they just start moving about, just like a shimmy and a shaking.
It's gross. You know, it's very Little Shop of Horrors. It's like, don't feed the plants, don't feed the bugs.
Yes,
You know?
Audrey too.
Once it gets a taste of blood, it's never backing down.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Bethy Boo.
Feed me all night long.
Damn, that was soulful.
Feed me, wait, no, Danny and Bridget. Feed me, Daddy. Okay, anyways. So Danny's like blood droplet makes the book come alive, and he decides, I'm gonna play DJ. I'm gonna get on here, use my
He's like, there's
little
gonna be some
vinyl
murder on the
records.
dance floor.
There's gonna be some murder on the heads will roll
Heads will roll.
for
It's
sure.
gonna be a thriller.
And so he puts on these vinyl records. He puts on his headphones, and then Bridget decides she's gonna do something. I forget what she's doing. Hold on. Okay, my notes.
She's working on a
And
protest or
it's
something.
she's working on her protest banner thing, and it's bath time. That's what I'm getting at. Auntie Bethy Boo,
She's like, I gotta clean
and Cassie.
this pregnant body.
No, she's not taking a bath.
She
Cassie's
wants to,
taking
though.
a bath.
She wants to.
And Cassie's taking a bath, and she puts like her whole like swimsuit on. I think that's kind of like funny that they have her put on her swimsuit.
Yeah, they're like, we have more than it's gonna happen this scene. She can't be naked.
Well, just like, okay, all right. That's just interesting. She has like her whole
Is that a New Zealand thing?
like her the goggles and stuff on, and she talks about how she got stung by jellyfish, and that's why she doesn't want to get in the water. And Auntie Beth gets all jerked around in the water, and we think maybe the demons have gotten to Auntie Beth, but nope.
She's just playing.
She's just playing. There's
She's
just
silly.
little ducky. Little rubber ducky. Come on, get on in, Cassie. And Ellie, mom, is doing some laundry.
And here comes Danny opening the book. He's gonna read it too.
Ellie gets her ass into the elevator, and Danny starts playing DJ, and he's hearing from Father Marcus. Father Marcus starts reciting from the fabled, one of the 3 volumes of the Book of the Dead, the Naturam Demonto.
This one seems pretty bad. This is a terrible volume. It's gonna fuck shit up.
There's like all these illustrated pages with people in very uncomfortable and distressful faces, and they're all like distorted and contorted. Their bowels are outside of their body. They're disemboweled.
Or insides are on the outside.
Their outsides are no longer, or their insides are no longer on the insides, they're on the outsides.
Okay, Cletus.
Okay, Ellie's in the elevator, and as the book is being like read by Father Marcus, the elevator like stops, and then it starts to kind of go up and it goes like up and down.
Heel,
and then
turn, stomp.
Ellie is being slammed up against the different like walls of the elevator, and
Rips her earring out.
Eventually, yeah.
That's the worst part of this whole movie.
That's it right there. Out of all of the different
grotesqueries,
ways in which these people are tortured, you think, the earring pulling out, that like
it looks
is
like
for
it hurts.
sure it's painful. Like I'm holding onto my earring right now thinking that's awful, but okay. So she's like all getting murdered, getting tortured in the elevator, and the kids are none the wiser. Everybody's just like doing what they're doing. There's a power outage that happens, so no one pays her any mind.
And we get another Evil Dead homage, and this one homages, I think, all the Evil Dead movies. You know, in the other movies, it's been like vines or the trees coming to life and wrapping around,
Yeah.
basically torturing one of our protagonists. Well, in this case, it's the elevator cables, but it's done in that same vein.
They're all wrapping around her wrists and, binding her up.
Legs, pulling her up.
Contorting her, and then finally just killing her by, breaking her bones and breaking her neck and breaking her back. Like,
Not in a fun way.
Yeah, breaking wind.
She farted a couple times. But we're going to see her again, though.
There's a couple of other players that come out during this time, like people in the hallways, because there's a power outage that has happened. And so those characters are Mr. Fonda. And some people mention in like the trivia that this might be in reference to the Bridget Fonda character from Evil Dead 2 that plays.
There's a Bridget and a Fonda in this
There's a
movie.
Bridget and there's a Fonda, and maybe there's a Bridget Fonda. Well, there's for sure a Bridget Fonda, but maybe there's a Bridget Fonda in all of us.
You know what? I agree with that.
So, and then the brothers that had shown up to ask if Bridget would watch the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they're all out trying to figure out like what's going on, because again there's a power outage that's been happening, and Ellie comes back into the apartment complex and she's not herself anymore, and all of the kids and Beth are like, where have you been? And she starts making,
She's like, let me fry up some eggs before I talk.
yeah, I'm just
Spend the
gonna
night.
make a whole bunch of scrambled eggs, but you know what, shells in. Yeah, we're gonna do shells in.
You know, she loves to experiment in the kitchen. She's, willing to try new things.
She's a foodie for sure.
Yeah.
And she at first starts, or she just is sounding like herself, and it sounds like she's reminiscing about a time that she and her children had gone to, a park, a forest area, maybe had a picnic, had a whole day where they were there, perhaps with Dad, just playing it like a family, enjoying their time, and then all of a sudden
things are gonna get weird.
The memory just really goes south. She just mentions how maybe she would have loved to climb inside her children's bodies so they could just stay a happy family.
That's
something.
weird.
Oh, that's not something that you wanted to do this weekend?
Climb inside my family's body?
Just to be happy?
No.
Josh.
I'm not climbing.
Okay.
I'm not climbing anything, let alone in someone's body. I don't even know what that means.
Ellie's, the neighbors, they come in at this time and they're like, whoa, what's going on? And so she kind of gets distracted instead of
Living in the moment.
Yeah. And she starts attacking, and Mr. Fonda, he doesn't like to be trapped. There's this funny line he says.
I hate being trapped.
I don't like being trapped. Right. I feel like that's just a given for anyone. It's so strange and weirdly annoying when people point out like just those basic things that might annoy every single person.
They've come back into the house and they get attacked right away, right?
Yes.
And then she goes after Bridget.
She attacks everybody at this point. She has she's been attacking them with like a glass shard, and her Beth's hand. Yeah, Beth's hand is I guess, I don't know, punctured completely because that glass shard goes all the way through.
She like tattoos/cuts Bridget's face open.
And gets distracted by the neighbors, and so they're like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? She then like gets taken over, gets a fever. They take her to the tub. They're trying to cool her down. They just don't know what to do.
Too. She makes it boil.
And then she takes her whole body, goes underwater, and then springs up,
hits the ceiling,
holds on to the
She's
ceiling.
She's like, raise the roof.
Raise the roof. She then plummets back down into the water.
Almost like she's dead. Like, 'cause she was going crazy, and then all of a sudden just like, oh, boop, falls back into the water.
Her eyes creep up from the tub, and she
has that thing with her hand where it comes over like finger after finger to grab the side.
She's doing a really good job playing with,
me out.
emoting with her face and scaring her children who are all there surrounding in the bathtub. Like, what the hell's happening?
What's happening to Mommy?
They're like, Mommy. And she's like, Mommy's with the maggots now.
Yeah, that's kind of a classic line. You heard that in the trailer over and over, and like every like advertisement for the movie on streaming or on TV had the Mommy's with the maggots now.
So we know that she's like dead. Mom she's dead.
That's her way of saying she dead.
She's dead.
She dead, girl.
She then she attacks Beth, and she attacks Bridget with the tattoo gun, and then Gabriel, and there's a ruckus, and she attacks him and gets his eyeball. She eats his eyeball out of his socket, and then she regurgitates the eyeball of one brother into the other brother, and he starts choking.
Yeah,
and
she's like sucking balls in this one.
And this gets her kind of, this gets her out in the hallway though, at least, so that Beth
totally
can.
Skipped over my sucking balls joke.
Sucking balls. Oh,
It says she's sucking balls, but eyeballs.
She's sucking balls, but eyeballs, everyone.
She's sucking eyeballs.
So she gets her ass out into the hallway, though, and that's a big point.
Thank you for acknowledging
It's a plot move, but I'm not. Like, your ball sucking days are over.
No, they're not.
Eyeball sucking days. And she gets her out into the hallway, which is a good plot point because it separates her from attacking everybody else, and they think they're safe for the moment. But are they really safe?
They sure are.
Because Bridget's been attacked. And she might be just hanging out in the kitchen, up to no good.
But then we see her like little face cut, like start getting all crazy and like moving around. It's animated.
She goes into the kitchen to see if she can like try to fix herself. And Beth looks outside to see if she could scream for help from anyone. And it's raining outside, so there's a person that's walking by, but she's so high up in the rain and the weather, there's like a thunderstorm, so no one can hear her. No one can hear her, please.
When you're in an apartment in downtown LA, no one can hear you scream.
So Daniel comes up and he's like, please, I gotta tell you, there's this like recording, and you know, this is why everything's happening, and I'm so sorry.
He's like, listen, I did a thing.
I might have played shit when I shouldn't have. What did he do? He fucked around and found out.
He fucked around and found out, dude. Shouldn't shit thing. I shouldn't have shit.
I shouldn't shit, and I did, and I'm sorry. And Ellie starts singing a nursery rhyme out in the hallway. There's like this cool scene where she had been attacking everybody in the hallway. The brothers, she'd killed one of the brothers, thrown him up against
the... It's so sad. They were just there to help.
Well, no good deed goes unpunished.
And the really creepy part to me is how they're watching all this through the peephole, you know?
Yeah.
And it's all from that point of view, so it's...
Peephole point of view?
You're kind of like detached from it a little ways, but then it's also putting you in that place of like, oh yeah, it is weird when you look out a peephole, they're kind of being voyeuristic and seeing
Yeah,
things.
when you're a peephole point of view.
And then the creepy part, really creepy part, because that was already creepy, the second creepy part is how the mom knows they're watching. How she's
Yeah.
like, hi.
I
look
can
at-
see you with
Yeah.
my reverse peephole point of view.
You got peephole point of view? I got reverse peephole point of view.
Reverse peephole point of
They're-
view
they're
sounds like a sexual position. Bridget starts hearing demonic voices
It'll go
in
along
the
with
kitchen.
the Oklahoma 69 peephole point of view and Oklahoma 69.
Oklahoma 69. All right, so Bridget starts hearing demonic voices in the kitchen, and she's getting this like sluggish discharge
Ew.
coming out of her eyeballs and her nose and her anus, and
She's chewing on something.
she starts vomiting out maggots.
And Bethy Boo's like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you doing all right?
And Bridget's like, I got creepy crawlies in my stomach and you know I hate, or I'm trying to kill the creepy crawlies in my stomach.
Yeah,
I hate things in my tummy.
glassware.
Yeah, she's eating glass, and you see it poking through her neck as she swallows. You know that's cutting up those intestines.
In her throat.
In her
in
belly.
Yeah, like everything.
If she passes it, her anus.
If she passes it, yeah. In her anus for sure. Okay, so Dan
She hate us because she ate us.
she ate us because she ate us. Okay. She eventually then who am I even talking about? Okay.
Ellie.
Ellie coaxes
Or no, Bridget. Or
Yeah.
Ellie and Bridget.
Bridget is attacking Beth in the kitchen. And
Oh yeah,
she-
Ellie's dead.
And Ellie isn't dead. She's in the hallway trying to get the door open.
Oh,
from,
that's right.
Yeah.
You're right. Always, that's good. You keep
Okay.
us on track.
So Beth is like, okay, I gotta get the door closed. She had gotten attacked by Bridget by a cheese grater.
That's fucked up. She like cheese grates her leg. I was gonna even use the F explicitive.
Oh, but you don't really, cheese grating enough.
yeah.
But on the back of your leg, I
didn't need to add a curse word to make that to drive that point home.
No, it just was what it was.
Twas but a twir.
Twas what it was. Twas what it were. Danny saves Cassie, and they go kind of like hiding. Beth keeps getting called a groupie by Ellie, and
She hates that too.
she
like,
really does.
It's the worst thing you could say to Bethy Boo is call her a groupie.
She gets it's hashtag offensive.
Because it sets her off. Like she gets pissed and she's like, I'm getting this door shut now. She ended up tricking little homegirl into opening the door crack.
Yes.
But luckily it had like the little chain lock on. So she could only like put her arm through and
She only
like,
got like the tip.
grab her. She only got the tip in. But Bethy Boo saves the day. She's like, don't you dare call me a groupie. I'm going to use that anger as my strength right now.
My strong hand.
I'm going to use my strong self. My angry, strong hand.
My angry, strong hand self. So, Bridget, though, attacks, and she gets Staphanied.
Yeah, which was introduced earlier in the movie. It's like
We
her
forgot to
little toy.
mention Staphany. There was like this little scene at the beginning where Bridget was chasing after her sister Cassie, and there's this staff that she had been making with the toy head that got snipped off with the scissors, and she had called her Staphany. Well, that comes around full circle and saves Cassie when Bridget, who is, now like a full deadite, attacks her, and then the staff goes into Bridget's mouth through her skull. She gets staffed.
And what's really cool is Bridget is like under sheets, right? They had covered her up with
Well, not yet. That's
Oh,
like
that's- okay,
afterwards.
that's
She has
later.
to die first, and then they cover her up. So
okay.
she gets Staphanied,
Okay,
and
you're
then
right. Then she's gonna
they
come
cover
back
her up with sheets. Yes.
as a sheet ghost.
She is going to, yeah.
But she hasn't yet.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
So she gets Staphany. They wrap her up, and that, like, here's the next note that I have where it says Bridget gets Staphany'd. Then it says they wrap her up, and that adds to a cool effect later.
Oh, that's right. They wrapped her up. Cool effect later. Something has to do with something.
Beth asks to listen to those vinyls, and so she gets like hooked, the electricity to be all hooked up with like these batteries, and we get to see this moment where she proves her technician skills.
He's all like, my turntables won't work. There's no electricity. She's like, I got you.
I got you with batteries. And so she does her technician thing, and she's listening to Father Marcus, and he's just talking about how you have to like dismember everybody, and how it's been 2 days, and his entire team is now like demonically possessed, and he's surely to go soon, and the only thing that's worked is just completely like just dismemberment entirely.
And they're like, oh, this makes sense. And then they're like, damn it, Danny, this is all your fault.
And so Danny and Cassie are in the living room, and there is a moment where Cassie's back is to the room where Bridget has been stowed away, wrapped up in a blanket, and that's where we get the cool like jump scare point of view of Danny looking at Cassie and the sister being like a ghost hovering over her sister.
Yeah, it's really cool. She's
It is
like
a cool
flying
scene.
at her like a ghost because the sheet's covering her, but it's like a flannel sheet, so it's
Yeah.
not like a white sheet, but it's still really,
It's a good
evokes
effect.
like almost like
Mhm.
that kind of feeling, like a gothic horror, and it's really creepy how she comes just flying at her like a ghost.
And Danny's got a knife to protect himself, and so he stabs his sister, but unfortunately that kind of like
Pisses
he ends
her
up
off.
and she ends up stabbing him in return, and
Yeah, like stabs him in the arm, kind of pins him down.
yeah, and then stabs him again, and he gets stabbed in the heart, and he's gonna die really soon. He tells his sister, Cassie, the little sister, I'm so sorry, and she's hiding under the floor. Her brother's like dead, and Ellie has gotten into the apartment at this point, and so she's attacking Beth. She's crawled through one of the air duct vents. She got an idea from a cat that was crawling up there. Dead-eyed Ellie.
Cats are so smart.
They are. That's why every person needs a cat.
They're like, I'll show you the way.
I'll show you the way, even if you're a demon that doesn't need to be shown the way into the apartment complex, because you're just going to murder everybody. But Ellie's
He's like, that cat is like the Obi-Wan of this movie.
ooh,
Like,
that
follow
kinda
me, I will show you the way.
Kind of anti-Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So there's a cool visual of Ellie crawling out of the air duct, and Beth listening to Father Marcus and his moment, his desperate moment, as he's kind of giving off those last instructions of what to do, and she sees her sister
She's like, here we go again.
in a reflection in the window.
She's like, didn't I kill you already?
And Ellie's like, yeah, I'm here to stay. I'm here to motherfucking stay. But Cassie saves the day. She slides these like scissors over to Beth, and Beth slams those up into her sister's face, and they have a moment where they're able to like escape, but it's only that they get to escape into the hallway, and then everybody starts coming alive.
Yeah, everyone's there like, dead by dawn, dead by dawn, we're all gonna get you, dead by dawn.
Cassie and Beth find a gun, though. At least they have their boomstick. There's
It belonged
Another-
to one of the
Mr.
old...
Fonda.
Yeah, to Mr. Fonda.
And that in itself, the boomstick, the shotguns, an homage to all of the other Evil
That's
Dead
right.
movies, all the other movies before, with Ash, and also with the other final. I can't remember her name. What's her name? It's Mia, right?
And the new one?
The 2013.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it might. I'm gonna have to.
It's been like 2 years since we covered
Yeah,
it.
it's been a minute. I think it's been more than that, right?
We did 2
Okay, well, okay.
years ago.
So they start escaping. They're trying to get to the elevator, and all of the different demonically possessed people start joining up with
They make
Ellie.
one gross monster body
Yeah,
full of just like limbs and heads and
and it's another
bellies.
illustration that had shown on the Naturam de Monto.
Yeah, before this
The
happens,
book.
like the book is like, look at this page, and there's like the illustration on there. And you're like, oh, that's about to happen. They're all about to join up. This is like the Avengers, but
Oh yeah, the
making,
assimilation, yes, but a real grotesque Cronenbergish kind of way.
That's right.
And they all start crawling across the floor as there's this, just like suspenseful scene, this moment of the elevator doors closing, and will they make it in time? And then we see them crawl up the wall. They're going to get into the air ducts because now they know that little trick.
Everyone keeps passing that knowledge on to someone else.
And
It all started with a cat.
it's all because of a cat. Oops. That darn cat. Beth and Cassie are in the elevator, and it starts filling up with blood, and they're just kind of stuck. They don't know what to do. There's a camera shot to the weight limit on the elevator, and then we get the assimilation of all the bodies that start crawling through the elevator, the ceiling top of it, and then the elevator just gives with the weight of everything.
Yeah, it's like it couldn't handle the weight of that amalgamated body, like this huge mass of people.
And so it falls to the bottom, and we get a very Kubrick kind of like a Shining moment where the elevator doors open and all this blood spills out, and we get the bodies of Cassie and Beth tumble out. And
for a moment you think Cassie might be dead, and then Cassie opens her eyes and she's like, am I dead? And I was like, girl, I was just asking that same question, but I guess you're alive because
she's
you're talking.
alive, because she's all saying like, am I dead?
You opened your eyes and talked, so I think you're good.
They flee to Beth's car, and they're trying to find the beeper for the garage door, because of course that's going to be just like hang up in these final moments. Can they get out? No, they can't because of the garage door opener.
And they're like, remember when we set this up in the beginning of the movie?
So it's paying off, and you can't be mad at us.
You
We
thought
already set it up.
You thought that scene was just about pizza being dropped, but
It's not. And that in itself was so sad, because that pizza would have been so good.
Yeah.
We were setting shit up for later.
It did look good.
And they never get that pizza back. I want my pizza back.
I hope they got a refund. They're like, listen.
We're gonna call later. That's the first place
Remember
that they
that
go.
earthquake? Yeah.
Okay, so the entity is coming and crawling as they're looking in the side mirrors. The objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. And it's crawling up, and so Beth and Cassie decide to flee the car out one side as the entity is coming up on the other side. They start kind of making a circle around the vehicle, hiding from each other. It's a very suspenseful dance.
But the whole time they have that trope in horror movies that bugs me. And I get it, when you're scared, your heart rate's elevated, you're gonna be breathing more, but it's like, how are you hiding and keeping the killer or whatever, the monster at bay, when you're like,
I know.
I'm like, the room is quiet, and then you get all like their feet squeaks. I'm like, there's no way you're hiding from him, or that you can assume that they don't know where you are. You're making a lot of noise when you are trying to be quiet.
Yeah, well, but
breath and feet squeaks.
Part of me just thinks it is to escalate the scene. It's just it's all to add to this the heart rate suspense of the
Like maybe you are breathing that hard, but I'm just saying that you're gonna get found.
Of course, yeah. If it is really a quiet moment,
and they're
then
like
they're
jumping
not being
off
too
things
quiet.
and running, squeaking around.
Because they end up fleeing from the car in general and hiding behind one of the concrete pillars, and they're trying to get to, because the clicker finally worked, so the garage door thing lifted up enough. They're trying to make it to it in time before it closes, and of course they get there just in time, but not enough, because Cassie gets through onto the other side of the garage door, but the entity, the little monster, the hand grabs her and pulls her back in. So we get there, they're divided.
And then Mommy's like the head honcho. Mommy's like the head honcho of the body mass.
Yeah.
And she's like taunting Cassie. She's gotten the chainsaw now. Has it at Cassie's throat, right?
Yeah, well, they found the chainsaw in the back of the truck of the wood chipper, but I think we do need to kind of mention that along the way, there's been all of this like addressment towards Beth that she's going to be a mother.
Yeah, because remember that pregnancy test, how she was pregnant? Yeah, she keeps getting taunted by like whenever, especially when Bridget was eating the glass, it's like, I don't like things in my tummy, and she looks at Bethy Boo and is like, Bridget is saying to her like, do you like things in your tummy?
And I just think I needed to mention that in this moment, because she really does, like, there's so much that's happened to her. She's a very wounded person herself. She's had a lot of injuries, and she's still she's being resilient because she's maybe that mother's intuition or something's coming into play. She's got to fight for Cassie. She's got to fight for her unborn child.
And Cassie had just asked her too, like, are you really going to be a mom? She's heard the things that demons have been saying, and she's like, yeah. She just like, what? I am. I'm going to pull through this. You're going to make it. We're going to make it. I am going to be a mother. I'm going to push this baby out of me.
Unfortunately, you're going to be an orphan.
Yeah, but I'll take you in too.
So she gets the chainsaw, and that's kind of like the last little link in this Evil Dead homage chain that we needed. And
apparently the chainsaw is the same color as the Cadillac.
Yeah, because that is
movies.
not something that we get in this movie. We don't get that Oldsmobile, from the other movies, and it had been in all the other Evil Dead movies, including the 2013. It's not even a remake. It's just we're saying it's in another universe.
Yeah.
But they're all Evil Dead movies. So we get the wood chipper scene. That's what we're building up to. The chainsaw gives her her weapon that she kind of pins the monster down. The wood chipper's been turned on by the monster, but Cassie saw how it works.
Yeah.
She
was kind of about to pull in Bethy Boo.
Yes, and that's like how the chainsaw helps. She reaches for it, and then she gets herself spun around, and Cassie stops it, turns it back on. The monster gets sucked in, and then Beth gets the chainsaw and pins the chainsaw down onto the head of Ellie. And Ellie, all the way, as she's getting ground up, and all the other many different demons are getting ground up, she's still just...
You're gonna be a shitty mom!
Yeah, being a bitch to Bethy Boo.
And then even, like, will come out of it and try to convince her that, no, I'm normal now, and she'll say, like, Bethy Boo, please help me, Bethy Boo. I don't know why she's Southern now, but...
Yeah, she hadn't been this whole time. And so... Beth and Cassie, they walk out of the parking garage, and they're safe. The entity is completely ground up.
Yeah, but you know who's not safe? Jessica. Here she comes, going on her vacation.
On the 5th floor of the building, because everything had been taking place like on the top floor, so on the 5th floor we see this character coming out of her apartment complex, and she's none the wiser to all of the terrible atrocities that have happened on all the floors above her and below.
I slept so good last night.
I am that storm. All I need is a sleepy girl mocktail and a thunderstorm to get me to bed.
That earthquake just rocked me to sleep.
I strummed on my titties, and I got my nipples all tweaked, and it just hold me to bed. Oh yeah, that's what I do. I just hold on to my titties, and I just
pinch my nipples and I
fall
right to
bed. Sleep. And I have my magnesium, and I'm off to my Z's. So she's talking on the phone. This character named Jessica, who we are recalling might be this Jessica from the beginning.
Might be
and
her.
She's talking about going to the cabin and picking up her cousin, who happens to be on the phone with her, like FaceTime. She's like, no, I don't think I want to go to the cabin. Oh, I want to back out.
She's like, no, you're coming. My boyfriend's friends are coming. We're going to find you a guy.
Everyone's coming. Everyone's coming.
You're going to get some good D this week. And by that, I mean decapitation.
And she's like, okay, so I'm coming to pick you up. Okay, bye. And then she gets off the phone and she starts looking around. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck's fuck? What the fuck is fuck?
She's like, I see blood.
There's blood everywhere. My period happened last week, so this is not mine. What the tampon? What's going on? And then,
I almost said the cheese grater. I was like, she sees the cheese grater.
The wood chipper.
That's still upstairs.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere. She's just like having a you know, a hot girl moment, a hot girl summer moment,
Screaming
her head off, and then the force, the demonic force, that drone shot happens, and she gets overcome.
And then roll credits. We're like, the epilogue was the prologue.
The epilogue
too.
was
Yeah.
the prologue.
So we saw like what happened. They could go do a sequel. Like now we need to find where's the demon gonna go. Everyone at the lake's dead.
Well, now we have a cabin, and we have a demon in a cabin, and so we have an Evil Dead Rise too.
Yeah, hopefully set in the cabin so we can keep this party going.
We gotta keep this party going. We gotta keep this party going. Well, this party hasn't even begun, and we're like 45 minutes away from our cabin.
We're getting there, and we're really excited. We're meeting up with our dear friends, Matt,
This is the first time that's ever happened.
Nick, Celicia. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, we always come down here solo, but they have rented out the cabins next door, and so we're just gonna have a fun weekend with our friends.
An amazing, epic weekend. We're so excited, and we can't wait to tell you all about it. So you guys just wait, hold on,
stay
listen to Bad
tuned.
Athlete. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Yeah, we'll be back with our knife ratings and what we think of the movie.
All right.
Bye.
Something through the sea. Wake up, I just wanna go home. I may be shaking inside. I'm not the kind to run and hide. Come out, I'll take you all on my own. I've got you figured out. Tough luck, you're in my world now. I have no doubt, I have no fear. I'm gonna make you disappear. We are the scream queens, running through the night. We are the scream queens, gonna put up a fight, make everything alright.
And we're back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second portion of our lovely podcast. We just wrapped up a wonderful weekend at the cabin, and we'll get into telling you all the juicy details of that, and then we'll jump right back into talking about Evil Dead Rise and our next podcast.
I've come to the conclusion that the second half is personally very depressing for me. It's
I
always...
am in total agreement with you. It's always a bummer, like when we start out.
Yep, we are. It's always the end of a fabulous trip, and granted, we get to relive it and talk about it with you, but I'm always a little sad, y'all.
Yeah, it's a reminder that it's over, and it takes kind of a moment for us to get back into the groove of like, okay, well, we're happy to tell you all about it. We're not depressed. Yes, we are.
I'm always happy to see you. If I see you, I mean, I can see you. I'm looking
Yeah,
at you.
listener.
Pick your nose right now. Oh, I see you, sir, scratching your ass.
Get your finger out of your ass, ma'am.
Pull that finger out of your anus.
Woo! Okay, well, now we're happy-go-lucky right back into it. Let's go ahead and just start talking about our Saturday arrival and all of the fun that ensued that evening time.
Morning time, evening time.
Summertime and winter time.
And it was evening time and winter time when we arrived. And
was.
we got to our wonderful Tall Oaks cabin that we've been to many times. I think we still forgot to actually count to see how many times. We were trying to decide if we went the first time in 2018 or 2019. So it's either was our 6th or 7th time going. I guess I could have looked that up, but I didn't. Because I was
Right.
too busy having fun on our trip.
Exactly. And if it's our 6th or our 7th time, next time will be our 7th time or our 8th time. And we
We're really-
probably will not do the research to find out what it
Yeah.
is.
We're good at math, guys. But
Maths, I believe, is what they call it
Maths. If you're in the
in the British
UK.
bake world.
yeah, we met up with our wonderful friends. Shout out, hi guys.
Oh, yes. Let's just name them off. Our gaggle of good friends for the weekend, Nick and Celicia and Matt and Nathan. We had a blast.
Yep, we rendezvoused, went to our favorite pizza place in the area called the Grateful Head. I know what you're thinking. But
And yes, after you receive it, you are really grateful.
We had delicious pizza, good talks and drinks around.
We've never got to have so much pizza before too, because with the group we
Yeah.
got to try more different, like more of a variety.
Yeah, we
than
ordered
before.
3 pizzas. And we usually don't dine in. I think we've dined in one other time. This was our second time. It's one of the busiest places on the weekend because it is so good and it's very popular. So we hung out the bar for just a tiny bit, and then our table was ready, and we ate and talked and drank and just had the best time.
We when we got to the cabin though, we do what we always do. We did not disappoint or let you all down, listener.
We got in that hot
We
tub.
popped our little pussies in that hot tub so many times. You know, because you've listened before, that if it is morning time, my ass is in that hot tub. And if it's evening time, my ass is in that hot tub.
And any time in between.
Yeah.
We try to get in that thing as much as possible. We don't have hot tubs at our houses, so... And that's one of my favorite things. I love to cook in a hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit there, let the water boil over me. And by boil, I mean the jet streams
Right
pushing.
over my nipples.
Something very comforting about that.
And because we were changing it up this year, we both went nude.
And we farted a lot.
Oh my gosh. We didn't know if it was the bubbles from the jets or from our gas. But we would trick each other.
There is one funny moment where I really did fart, and surprisingly, you could smell it through the water.
It was
remember?
gross. It was gross. He was trying so hard to have it be like a silent creeper that just, sneaks out of your ass and doesn't leave.
It's like that bubble
Residue.
rose to the surface, popped, and it was like...
We were
TMI,
like,
TMI.
maybe we need to go ahead and just bounce out of this one early. It was so Saturday was great too, just because after we had our Grateful Head, we didn't stop there. We took our party back, and so how our little friendly little setup was is we always have our Tall Oaks cabin, but our buddies had the cabins that were across from us, so we could wake up in the morning and see their cabins and just wave like neighbors across, but we still had a little bit of privacy.
A little privacy.
We had a little privacy.
It was very privet.
And we arrived back. I just want to tell this story because I think it's rather funny. We arrived back and we now have a neighbor next door to us. And that hadn't been the case when we left. Our friends were across from us. And then we get back and there is a neighbor
In the middle of us.
in the middle of us, and they are playing their country music, and I'm not saying anything against country music, just saying they were playing their country music obnoxiously loud, so loud that probably people that were 2 miles away in their cabin somewhere could hear and the song wasn't the greatest.
No,
So
they
it
weren't,
was,
that's the problem. They weren't playing good country music.
no, Willie Nelson wasn't like being a siren to lure you
Yeah.
into their cabin.
This wasn't like really good 90s Garth Brooks, the Judds, or anything playing.
This was like terrible honky tonk happening.
It wasn't. It's like that really crappy like country pop that's really popular. Right now.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with it. Like as kids of the '90s, I feel like we got a good, and being from Oklahoma, we have a really good dose of Garth and Reba, and people like George Strait, Clint Black. Like that was
Brooks and
Brooks
Dunn.
and Dunn. Those were our early, what would that be like? Our exposure to country music was in that vein.
That's right.
So we it's nighttime and it's wintertime, so it is like it's super dark out there with the cabin. So just imagine we pull up and this just obnoxious country music is just banging, the bangers from their cabin. And we are about to have our friends come over and we're going to start a little party and have a little game night. So I grabbed the speaker and thought, I'm going to be a little petty. and I turned the speaker on to what every country person wants to hear, Taylor Swift. And I played it louder than I've ever played a Taylor Swift song in my life. And we tried to have a little song off. And they quickly changed their tune, turned their music down, because they knew that the queens had arrived. We were in our cabin. We were ready to have fun. We did not want to hear their honky-tonk.
So we hung out in our cabin for a little bit, and then we called it a night.
Well, it was fun. We played our games. We played the accent game.
Yes,
and so that was hilarious. If you don't have this game, guys, I seriously would recommend ordering it, picking it up from wherever. It's called Accents, and there is a family-friendly version and an adult version.
It has a different. It's not called Accents. It's called it has a name. It's not just called Accents.
Oh, okay. I wrote down game night played Accents.
It's like basically Cards Against Humanity, but you use different accents. But it's.
And you get a different scenario that you kind of have to say out loud, but you have to say it with an accent. And it's not always an accent like a British accent or something like that. It could be you have to scream it really loud
or talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So, and the fun thing about it is that everyone is usually terrible at the accent, so it just makes it a lot of fun.
One of our friends, Matt, any accent gently turns into a British accent. Even an Arnold Schwarzenegger one turns into a British accent. So yeah, we had a really fun night, played some games. I think maybe we just played that game. We also had puzzles out, things like that going on, but then we said our goodbyes and we hopped our ass again into that hot tub. Again, we are not about to disappoint you. If we go to the cabin early morning, late at night, Josh is doing somersaults in the hot tub.
Yeah, I even fell going out to the hot tub. It was so dark, but I didn't spill my drink. I just landed on one knee, so I was cool.
It was the most graceful fall, and also it took quite a while. I looked over at you and you were kind of gently going down one knee. I didn't know if you were going to say a prayer, if you were just before we get into the hot tub, I want to give the hot tub gods a little acknowledgement.
A little thank you, a little amen.
We woke up the next morning to rain, and not just a little drizzle. It rained through the day, kind of put a damper on our hike that we wanted to do.
We love to always go into the state park and do some hiking at Beavers Bend State Park. It's really pretty in that area, but it just wasn't on our side for the whole weekend. It just rained the whole weekend. It was cold and drizzly, which was really nice. It lended itself to snuggly vibes inside the cabin, or going to
it forced us to try different things.
Yeah, do more inside.
We ate out at the Eat Out, a place that we'd never been before.
And it was really yummy. They had really good tater tots.
And it is called the Eat Out.
I had a really great veggie burger. You had a good salad.
I did. It was this beet goat cheese salad. It was, I was a mess eating it. It had really good dressing, but the beets, how they had cut them, they were real thick slices. I love beets, guys.
And if you're really into meat and stuff, they were smoking their own meats outside. There was a bar inside the place. It was really cute.
Yes.
It was so cute.
It's right. There's just kind of this main area in Ho Chi Town, big strip with just nothing but all the attractions, to pull you in. If you're not going to the state park, these are all the different attractions, things like putt-putt. There's a huge labyrinth-like maze that they've made.
I want to go to that next time.
And yeah, definitely when it's not raining, because it is something that's completely outdoors. There's these fences that they've constructed up that I think I read that they're 10 foot tall. So it's a labyrinth of fencing that creates this maze, and the 10 foot tall fences, you can't see over them. That just sounds like so much fun. So when it's not raining, we're going, and when we're not going to the state park, we're going. We're going. So we ate at Eat Out, and it was yummy, and then we just walked up a hill to the Beavers Bend Brewery and enjoyed some libations there.
And this was yesterday on Super Bowl Sunday, so they were kind of busy. Most of it is all outdoor seating. They have one covered patio with heaters, but people are saving tables and stuff, even though there weren't even people there. So forced us to have to kind of sit outside. Luckily, it was a time when it wasn't really raining, but it was still cold. So we didn't spend as much time at the brewery as we usually do.
And that was okay because, again, the change in the weather, we were going to do something that we, too, had not ever done before. Our friends, Nathan and Matt, when they were kind of, like, getting ready yesterday morning, had looked up this winery that you drive by a lot when you're just going back and forth on the strip. It's called Girls Gone Wine. And their website was just kind of bringing us all, like, smiles and kind of making us laugh, because they talked about how the whole thing behind them creating Girls Gone Wine was they wanted to have fun, and they were just girls that wanted to have fun.
We're just girls having fun. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're just having fun.
Just making wine, having fun. And, well, we were all a bunch of girls wanting to have fun, even though half of us were girls, but we wanted to join in, so we went to Girls Gone Wine and had actually a really good time. Did a tasting,
Yeah,
had a
they
couple
do
glasses.
free tastings every 15 minutes, and you can stand around their, like, little bar area, and they'll give you a little taste of all their wines. And then we all had a couple glasses, sat out on their covered heated patio.
Yes, that was so nice, because then that kind of lent itself to just having some time to relax.
And they had a really extensive gift shop. Like, you could spend a good hour looking at all their stuff. And they had a really fun, like, photo op area where you could take pictures. And
It was how it was, like, set up, the little photo area is that you all could sit together, or there was, like, a backdrop that you could stand behind, but it did the boomerang thing on, like, Instagram, so everyone got to, like, kind of, like, do a little movement.
And you could choose if you wanted a boomerang, if you wanted just a picture, but you did it on their, like, iPad setup, and then you could just text the picture to yourself.
I liked that.
It was really cool. We liked it. And the shop was very inclusive. A lot of, like, yay women stuff, a lot of, like, LGBTQ stuff, which for this area in, like, Podunk, Oklahoma, is kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I had mentioned this yesterday, that I felt like I was picking up what Hochatown was throwing down these last couple of years. I've noticed just some very welcoming signs or flags or a little sticker here. But in this store, it was like, no, it's not even a little. It's a lot. It was really refreshing and very wonderful. So definitely would recommend
Girls Gone Wine.
Girls Gone Wine. And then we went shopping at kind of like the official souvenir shop of Hochatown. It's called Hochatown.
But their stuff is quality. Like, it's really nice apparel and stickers and things for hiking and camping. And yeah, I got a sweatshirt and a hat. And
it's a really cute sweatshirt.
Yeah,
I got a sweatshirt too, but we got different ones, and I like both of our sweatshirts.
And the aesthetic on the inside is really cool too. Like, it's not just like some cheapy gift shop. Like, it's really well done.
Yeah, it looks kind of like when you go in that there's an RV that is leaping out of the shop. So like the front of the RV is what you see when you're driving by.
And it's like an old vintage RV that's all white, and it's called the Betty White.
It's super cute.
Yeah.
Again, would highly recommend a weekend in Hochatown for anyone. If you live in Arkansas, Texas, obviously Oklahoma, anywhere close, that is such a vibe. I don't want to use that word too much, but this place is a vibe.
And I do know a lot of people from Texas come up and go to Hochatown because it's kind of, you do kind of get those mountain feels.
Yeah.
Even though it's like gentle rolling mountains, but it's probably more than what they have in Texas, So I know a lot of people come up to that.
And they're actually really, really, really old mountains, and that's why they are not as tall. Something that I learned about long ago when I was taking a geography class in college was that the mountains that we think are smaller and they're just little bitty, they've been around way longer, sometimes upwards of 250 million years longer than mountains that are much taller, because they've gone through erosion.
They've gone through it, y'all. Those mountains have seen a thing or two.
They've seen it. But after that, and we spent quite a bit of time yesterday just palling around and shooting the breeze, but we were going to throw an epic fest for Taylor Swift's boyfriend's big game. And so that's what we did. We went back and
Got in the hot tub.
we and by we I mean I inserted myself whenever I could. Celicia is the queen. She makes the most delicious food ever. So I don't even want to say that I helped. I just kind of danced around her. She spiced it up. She's the cook.
Whenever you hang out with Celicia, you know you're going to eat well, drink well, and have a good time.
Oh, my
You too,
gosh.
Nick.
The hostess with the mostest. So we kind of had a Valentine's night last night, and it was so much fun. We had this amazing chicken, these little tacos. It was just incredible. It was an incredible meal. So much fun. I've never watched a Super Bowl game like all the way through or anything, because sports ball's not really my thing. But
Yeah, it's the first time I've watched the Super Bowl in years.
we had
It was
fun.
yeah. But it was, just the way we did it too, with friends, cooking, eating, drinking, doing puzzles.
And we played left, right, center,
We
the
played-
little gambling
dice
game.
That was fun.
And Matt won.
Boo.
I never win. And Josh and I have been playing that game at different parties and for birthdays for years and years and years. And I'm thinking back, and I don't think I've ever won. Left, right, center has always gotten my money.
Yeah, if there's like a family birthday party, it's almost guaranteed in my family we're going to play left, right, center. So it's like everyone always knows to bring at least three $1 bills. And then sometimes, you might win
Just
like
play
30
dice.
bucks or
Yeah.
something.
Depending on who's all there, you could, if
Yeah.
there was like 10 people playing, you can walk away with $30. But yeah, so now we're making our way back. We've got our Ho-Chi-Town Coffee Central cold brews, and
It's a cute little shop, little coffee shop, and their coffee's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't
like
mind it.
it.
They have a lot of sugar-free flavors for me to choose from. It's now kind of no longer drizzly. This morning, again, it was rainy. It kind of forced us to like slow pack. Like we didn't want to like rush out into the rain, guys, because it's, sound-wise, it kind of sucks to drive and the rain be hitting the car, and it just sound quality-wise, it's not
We
the best.
took our time. Funny enough, even if we just go for 2 days, there's a lot of packing involved. Like we bring lots of stuff to eat for the cabin. We bring all kinds of bathing suits and towels and bedding and games and then just our luggage, and then sometimes we have extra luggage because we're packing hiking shoes and things for hiking, and just prepared for all the events. So it could take like a good 45 minutes to load up and get everything out of the cabin.
But that's where we are at this point. We're loaded up and on the road, and now it's in our rear view, and we get a little melancholy when we think about it. But
Now we get to talk about the Evil Dead Rise.
yeah, and so I'm dying to know, Josh, what's your favorite scene of this movie that's just kind of filled with fun, gory, hoary.
It's kind of hard just to pick one moment because there are so many good moments in this movie. I don't think there is a bad Evil Dead movie, even though tonally they're all so different in a way. Maybe not the first three; those are very much in tone. But then, like Evil Dead, the remake, and then Evil Dead Rise, there's even, I would say, differences in those two, the two more modern ones. This one I like a lot. I like all of them a lot. Evil Dead's one of my favorite franchises, but this one, and this might not even be a popular opinion, but I like it a little more than the remake from like 10 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that movie a lot. But this one, I really like the humor. I like how it's contained in this apartment building, even though the other ones are more contained in a cabin. But I liked how it did something new. Gosh, favorite scene. This is so hard because there's so many. It's like just back to back to back scenes. I really just like that one small moment where the daughter is in the blanket You get that
Yeah.
whole like ghost effect, and she's flying through the house with the sheet over her. And,
Yeah, and that's where they end up getting the knife scene, where he
Yeah.
gets stabbed and stuff. So that kind of like leads up. It is very scary because it cuts to the little sister, and
Yeah.
she's frightened, and she doesn't even know what's behind her.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Hovering, I get it. It causes you to just immediately get stirred.
And the imagery is just really cool too. Like I like how in the middle of like these demons and all the violence, you get like this fun, spooky, almost like ghost moment. Even though it's not a ghost, but that's what it's evoking. Is
Yes.
like old school ghost in a sheet. I like that moment a lot.
Yes, that's a good one. I will choose the elevator scene where Ellie gets possessed because
yeah.
it is so much like when Cheryl is running in the forest and getting the
Willow
vines and yes, Willow raped.
Is that Cheryl that gets raped?
Or wait, no.
Cheryl's the girlfriend.
Cheryl's not Cheryl, the sister. Oh, I can't. What's sister's name?
Oh, I can
Ash.
Judy.
Oh shit, guys. Okay, but anyways, when this, pardon me, my throat. When the sister is getting possessed side Willow raped, it that's what it reminds me of, and how it keeps kind of cutting to the book opening, the illustrations.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it was Cheryl.
Oh, okay.
Linda's the girlfriend.
Linda. Okay, all
So,
right.
yeah, you had it right.
Bitch,
And then
you
there's
come for me unless I sin for you.
Because
Well,
it's Cheryl, Linda, and Shelley.
Shelley, yes. And I did not appreciate that with naming those characters Cheryl and Shelley. But
Cheryl
that's
and
another
Shelley.
movie. Okay, so Ellie in the elevator, I like it because it's just her, and she's having to contort her body. Visually, it looks really cool. From that earring pull out to
Yeah.
the cables kind of snaking around her wrists and ankles, and then like I said, that the book it cutting to and showing you like how it's going to contort her body. It's the start of the possessions, and I think it also just really showcases how far they're going to go. Like them showing how they torture Ellie in the elevator. To me, it just shines a light on like, yeah, we're about to go there.
Yeah.
This is only the beginning.
Mhm.
So I like it. That's my fave scene.
Now let's do some knife ratings. Which do you want? I guess I'll go first. I really can't remember what I gave Evil Dead Rise.
No,
Or
this is
I'm
Evil
sorry,
Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Remake.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go a solid 4 on this one. I feel like I want to give this one a slightly better rating than I would have given the Evil Dead Remake, but again, didn't do my research and go back and listen to that episode to see what I gave it.
I want to
But-
say we maybe gave it like a 3.5 or
Yeah.
a 3.5, and I'm in agreement with you. I'm also going to give it 4 knives.
Yeah, this is just like a solid, fun hour and a half.
Mhm.
It's constantly moving along. It has so much gross out gags, a lot of good humor. The performances are really well done. Like I didn't even know they were Australian, except from the guy doing the recording, like the
Yeah,
priest or whatever.
There was a couple of times where his American accent
Uh-huh.
was, or his Australian accent came out. You could hear it.
And
like-
even though it doesn't really look like downtown LA, who cares? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the point of the movie.
and there's
Like,
tons of people that have
yeah.
never been to LA to even make that that
Yeah.
connection or that disconnection. So
And they're never even like, we're in LA. It's just it could be any city, USA, really. But yeah, this movie's a lot of fun, gory and gross,
absolutely
good humor,
very well acted. Even the little girl, she's constantly having to act petrified. She's covered in blood. Her acting skills are great.
And story-wise, I really like how they bring it back from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
How I was joking earlier, saying the prologue's the epilogue, or whatever. But yeah,
But it is, and it's a good way to.
Yeah, and it makes me hope that we get more Evil Dead movies, and then to know, like, okay, they can branch it out. It doesn't always have to be in a cabin. I like how they reference a cabin at the beginning, but, it could be anywhere. Anyone could be possessed by a deadite. Anywhere you are.
You? Me?
No.
No, never. Yeah, okay, so 4 knives from each of us, solid, also just the length. The Evil Dead movies are great just because they're, shorter, they're not dragging on. For me, it's really hard. When a horror movie is like 2 hours or more, I'm just kind of like, where can we cut, I can't be scared this long. My heart can only take so much. Okay, well, now let's talk about what we're going to do for next month's episode. I'm really excited about it. We haven't been to Colorado since COVID, so...
Yeah, so we're going to Denver next episode. And you're right, that was our last episode before COVID hit. We were last there March of 2020, and then a week later, the world almost ended, it felt like. But we're going back. We're covering Train to Busan and going to Meow Wolf's. What's the theme? It's
Convergence Station.
Yeah,
so it's about trains.
Yeah, it's like a train station. So we're doing Train to Busan, going to Meow Wolf in Denver.
And we are also going back to...
Casa Bonita.
It would not be a trip to Denver if we didn't stop off at Casa Bonitas and tried to find Cartman.
Yeah, all you South Park fans out there know what a big deal going to the Mecca Casa Bonitas is.
So we're going to go. We'll see our little cliff diver. And
in the meantime, go give us that 5-star rating wherever you listen. If you're on Apple Podcasts, that would really help us out. Jot a little review for us. It just takes a few seconds and it really helps us out. If you've been a listener for a long time and really enjoy what we do, please go do that. And follow us on all the social medias.
Share, comment,
Yeah, we love getting to know you guys. Yeah. We've made a lot of cool friends from this show. So come chat us up on Instagram. That's probably the best place to really talk to us. Or YouTube also.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we hope to see you next month, guys.
Yeah, and you can always catch us on YouTube with our blind spot reaction. So if you're missing us and you need a quick little fill, why don't you just head on over to YouTube and look us up and watch us react to some pretty bomb-ass movies. Until then, take care, love each other, be kind to each other, and we'll see you next month. All right, bye!